Chicago rapper Lupe Fiasco, who is promoting an album called President Obama a Terrorist. Now, we're used to irresponsible statements from rappers, but that's really over the top. So I invited Mr. Fiasco on The Factor to discuss it. What do you mean President Obama is a terrorist?
My fight against terrorism, to me, the biggest terrorist is Obama in the United States of America. To put it into context, I was asked about a song that I did called Words I Never Said, which addresses terrorism.
I really think the war on terror is a bunch of bull. Just a poor excuse for you to use up on your bullets.
So the statement that I made, which was, I believe that the biggest terrorist, Obama, and the United States of America, and its foreign policy. That was what the whole, context of everything was. And it was really just an expression of me trying to, I guess, understand critically, the society.
President Obama is not a terrorist. He's trying to do what he believes is the right thing to do. The United States is not a bad nation. It's a noble nation. We're trying to defend ourselves against people who killed us on 9/11. And then you go out there and you talk to a lot of younger people, and this is what gets me. That your constituency are not exactly political science PhDs, okay? They're impressionable kids.
I don't think that matters. I don't think you need to have a
political
PhD to understand politics. To understand politics, I don't think you necessarily need that. And I don't think that politics are as complex as people like to make them seem or out to be. Richard Nixon said that, they reduced fear by reducing the causes of fear. And in that same interview, which I spoke about, calling Obama a terrorist, and every president before and after him a terrorist, right, is that if you're going to fight terrorism, right, true terrorism, weaponize fear. In defense of ourselves, we're actively fighting something else. But if you're going to fight terrorism, to me, you fight the root causes of terrorism.
The root causes of terrorism are many. Okay, they are varied. It depends region to region and all of that. The United States cannot cure ills in the world. What the President of the United States' responsibility is to protect you and me. That's his responsibility. And he's doing it through aggressive action. So, Navy SEALs killed bin Laden. You okay with that?
With him hunting down a criminal, a person who's responsible for the deaths, right, of innocent people? Yeah. I have nothing wrong with that.
Okay. So when bin Laden got killed, you didn't have any problem with that. That was okay, legitimate action.
You know what I had a problem with? The war in Afghanistan.
Okay, you have a problem with the war in Afghanistan.
Let me finish. The point of the war of Afghanistan was supposedly to go in and find bin Laden. Right?
Well,
but in the interim of the 9/11.
Mr. Jaco,
right? Osama bin Laden.
What you just said is fallacious. That means it's wrong.
It's not fallacious at all, sir. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. The point and the purpose. So why do we why are we in Afghanistan if it wasn't to hunt down Al Qaeda and the terrorist network, sir? Because it definitely wasn't for any other reason.
No, that's wrong. I will answer it. The reason we went to Afghanistan was to deprive Al Qaeda of a sanctuary. We removed the Taliban government when they wouldn't crack down on Al Qaeda. Now, to get bin Laden, that was another part of the operation. Okay,
but it's a part of the operation, sir. It's not separate. But that doesn't negate it. That doesn't take it away from the purpose of it just because it was another part, sir.
It's in the same to the war. The war.
No, it gives a the legitimate part of it is to go find a criminal, right?
No, the legitimate part
not to aggressively
remove a government. No, the legitimate part is to remove a government, which we did, which enabled a terrorist group to declare war on the United States. That's what happened.
Now that thinking right there, that thinking right there is what I have a problem with. Because if that's the case, then that is us.
You are oversimplifying and bringing a message to people, younger people, as I pointed out, who admire you. That is a message that is not true.
So to say that the President of the United States of America, all of them, not just Obama, because I'm not trying to undermine him, and him being a terrorist is just one label. He's many things. Like you said, he's a protector, he's a father, he's a midst of other things. Me just recognizing that one particular attribute of him is not me trying to undermine him or undermine my constituency or spread lies or spread rumors for the sake of anybody. I don't really care about the GOPs or the Democratic Party. My point is the people and giving the people the truth.
You're misleading the people.
I'm not misleading the people, sir.
You are misleading them.
The President of the United States of America is the commander-in-chief of our armed forces. So it's not a lie, as you say.
Basically, the entire U.S. government and the military attached to it is a fiasco.
If you do want to change the name of the show to the Fiasco Factor, you know, we'll definitely license the name out to you. I'll even do it for free and just take the publicity.
Do I have to wear the glasses if I do that? Do I have to wear the glasses? Because it's daytime.
And they're actually their prescription.
Okay, great. All right, Mr. Fiasco, thanks for coming on in here.
I appreciate you, Mr. O'Reilly. Have a good day.
All right, this would be a good time to give you the result of our BillO'Reilly.com poll. We asked you, did the media give too much coverage to the Anthony Weiner situation? 46% said yes, but...
Breaking news.
The lyrics in your limericks are changed. A different hook, the way the sentences arranged. More demented in your deliverance, more sinister in your slang. Sounds more belligerent when it's sang. The truth is limitless in its range. If you drop a T and look at it in reverse, it could hurt. Look at the grimaces of the pain, then it's worse when it works and your membership is gained. But you forgetting the proof diminishes in the flames like poof. The media pours images in your brain of the score of the war where militants are slain. The faces of the guilty where innocence is proclaimed and they filthy.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully.
That I will execute
faithfully the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States faithfully. That I will execute
faithfully the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States faithfully. That I will execute
faithfully the office of President of the United States faithfully. And will to the best of my ability. Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Chief Justice of the United States, John G. Roberts, Jr., who will administer the presidential oath of office. Everyone, please rise.
Okay, so this is their second chance to do this publicly. Last time didn't go so well, and they had to have a private do-over. So we'll see how it goes this time.
Please
Martha,
raise your right hand and
he'll
repeat
be
after
using
me.
2 Bibles.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will.
The office of President of the United States.
And will.
The office of President of the United States.
And will. And will. And will. To the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Certain vibrational range which they want to happen. So let's look now at Washington, D.C. Thousands of miles away across the Atlantic, but the same principles apply yet again. These images come from a book called Talisman of the United States. Excellent book, not terribly easy to get hold of, it seems. And the writer looked at the history of the building of Washington and how, when they built it, they put in the street plan, esoteric symbols, astrological symbols, and classic symbols like pentagrams and what we call Stars of David. And there you see a Star of David in the street plan of Washington. There's the Capitol building down the bottom. But it's not a Star of David, funnily enough. It's nothing to do with the Jewish race, the Jewish people. When you look back into the ancient world, this symbol can be found all over the place in the ancient Arab world and the ancient Hindu world, etc. Became associated with Jewish people after the Rothschilds started using it when they developed their banking empire in Frankfurt in Germany and then wider afield. But again, you see in the street plan of Washington, the way it was designed from the start in the District of Columbia, District of the Dove. This is why we have British Columbia. It's why we have Columbia Pictures, why we have Columbia Broadcasting, CBS. They're all Queen Semiramis Dove symbolism. And incidentally, just as an aside, look at the symbols of those organizations. The symbol of Columbia Pictures, the lady with the lighted torch. Look at Columbia Broadcasting, the eye, the all-seeing eye, which is on the screen between every program. Columbia University, symbol, lighted torch, because they are brotherhood operations. And here in the street plan of Washington, there's the Capitol building in the center there. These streets, according to the research of Talisman of the United States, are actually lined up with where the sun comes up at the winter and summer solstice. Now, when you go back to the ancient creations and mounds and structures that were created by the Phoenicians and that white race in Europe and Britain and Ireland, you find exactly the same principles. There's a massive mound at a place called New Grange in Ireland, and there's a really narrow entrance to it which goes right into the center of the mound, and in the center it opens up into a cavern. Only at the winter solstice, if it's a cloudless morning, the sun comes up in exact line with that and shoots its golden light straight the way through this little narrow passageway and lights up the whole of the central cavern. And apparently there's a 6-year waiting list to be in there at the time that happens. And again, it's just the same principles, the same knowledge applied to the street plans. This is why the political buildings, etc., and the Freemasonic temples are built on the vortex points in the grid that the old stone circles and that were built on also. Now, I'm coming back to the street plan of Washington in a second, but there's something I need to talk about before we come back. What you're looking at behind me is a place about 75 miles north of San Francisco, next to the Russian River. It's called Bohemian Grove. That's what you see behind the trees there. And Bohemian Grove has become notorious in research into not just the global manipulation politically, etc., but also into those people who are looking into satanic ritual and human sacrifice and blood drinking and all this stuff, again, which can be charted with these bloodlines from the ancient world. And behind those trees are 2,700 acres of redwood forest, Bohemian Grove, where, and again in The Biggest Secret and some of my other books, I document how people are sacrificed there, the blood drinking and stuff goes on, involving some of the most famous people in America, and also from further afield. Presidents and business leaders and stuff like that. The Henry Kissingers of this world and the Bushes and people like that. So here you have the entrance to it, no through road, as far as I could get before it was no further. Here is a picture taken at Bohemian Grove in 1957. The guy standing up there is called Glenn Seaborg. He helped to develop plutonium. I think he was involved in the Manhattan Project that created the bombs that were dropped on Japan, etc. But look either side of him. To his right, you have Uncle Ron, Ronnie Reagan. Back in '57, just a B-movie actor. Going to be president of the United States. What, old Ron, you must be joking. Well, he became president. On the other side of Seaborg is Tricky Dicky, Richard Nixon, who went on to become president of the United States. And it's through these organizations, these elite secret societies and groupings like Bohemian Grove, that presidents and the other people in positions of apparent power, that's the route that puts them into these positions. Not surprising. Now here's another picture at Bohemian Grove. Just concentrate a bit on this one, because it was taken on a long, long lens. Every summer, they have a summer camp in which these elite members of this brotherhood go to Bohemian Grove to do their deeds and do their ceremonies and stuff. And they do them to the same deities that this bloodline has done, has worshipped and done their rituals to, right back into the ancient world thousands of years ago, where this story started. And what you're looking at here, staggeringly, is a group of people, some of the most famous people in America, in long gowns. Behind them there you see a 40-foot stone owl. And there's the fire between them, next to the lake at Bohemian Grove. Now, one might wonder, understandably, why the people that run the banking, political, economic system and the media in America should be dressed in long robes doing a ceremony to a 40-foot stone owl. I think we should be told myself. So what's it all about? Again, you have to go back to see the present. Back in the ancient world, these Phoenician, Canaanite, Babylonian bloodstreams, which have merged to become the controlling force in the world, they worshipped a deity called Moloch or Molech. It was a deity that was an aspect of Nimrod, who keeps coming up everywhere, of course. And what they used to do is sacrifice children to Moloch or Molech. They put them through the fire. And in the Old Testament, you see prophets condemning the people for putting their children through the fire to Moloch or Molech. When I've talked to contacts, therapists and what have you around the world who work with satanically abused people, what those people tell them is that, again, when they're sacrificing children, the deity in the modern world today that they use to sacrifice them to is Moloch or Molech. Same seamless stream. So the question comes in relation to this: how do they symbolize Moloch or Molech, this deity to which they sacrifice children? They do it, symbolize him as an owl. That's why the owl comes up all over the place. Now, when I was looking in the street plan of Washington, this is not in Talisman of the United States, this just caught my eye as I was looking through a Washington street map, I found this around the Congress building. There's a Congress building in the middle. And just by drawing in red pen on the roads within the Congress building complex, very obviously an owl appears. You can also see an owl on the dollar bill if you can magnify it enough. It has to be magnified very, very intensely, and then you see the owl in one of the corners. But when you look at the next shot, this is not being doctored by me in any way with a red pen. This is just a shot directly from a Washington street plan. And there you see around the Congress building the owl, Moloch, the deity going back to Babylon and this whole story I've been talking about. And he's actually sitting on top of a pyramid. A pyramid and all-seeing owl, just like the pyramid and all-seeing eye. Because the owl and the eye symbolize the same thing, this force which controls the world through these bloodlines. Also in the street plan of Washington, you find pentagrams. Symbols are not in themselves negative. the five-pointed star, the pentagram as we call it, it's not in itself negative, just as the swastika in its original form is not negative. It was just a symbol of the sun. Other things too, probably. What the Nazis did, however, was take the swastika and turn it round to indicate the negative. It's what they call reverse symbolism in Satanism. So what they do with the pentagram, which is why it's become a satanic symbol, is to turn it upside down so it's pointing down. Reverse symbolism. It's the same with the dove, Semiramis. To the general population, the dove equals peace, love, and all this stuff. Reverse symbolism, the dove equals death and destruction. So here we have two pentagrams in the street plan of Washington. The top one points into the Capitol building, and the one at the bottom points into the White House. And not only do they reverse the pentagram to indicate the negative, another way of doing that is to distort the pentagram so it's not in a geometrically equal pattern. Some lines are longer than others, and that's what you see here.
So Farrakhan approaches it. So the white boy Hogan said, I want in on what's going on up in here.
Want to know about 19?
Yeah, and all of that. And so we know that D.C. is in the shape of the diamond. The minister raised the diamond. It's found out that Benjamin Banneker in 1791 laid a stone every 1 mile on the original boundaries of D.C. So it's 10 stones and 10 stones and 10 stones and 10 stones, which is 40. In fact, it's the same guy D.C. did Indianapolis. So in Indianapolis, you got the center of Indianapolis is Meridian Street. And the Monument Center is in the center. Then you got North Street, West Street, East Street, South Street. So what you got in D.C.? The top of the diamond is East-West Highway. That's where I live, 1703 East-West Highway. The point of that diamond is 1800 East-West Highway. So you got Eastern, Western, Southern, Northern, going around the diamond or the square. The diamond is not an arbitrary shape or symbol. It means something. The diamond means something. In fact, if you look up the diamond in the dictionary of symbols, the diamond talks about something coming from the word adelman. What is that? What's that word right there? Yeah, coming out of the Greek word adamas, meaning unconquerable. In emblems, it often indicates the irradiant mystic center. The mystic center. Why would a diamond be considered, or what do they call it? What do they call a diamond? It's a luminous being. So people tell me they're looking for the Illuminati. I said, well, where are you looking? Where are you looking? What did you break down? Are you listening to what it's saying? What are they saying? That somewhere in the diamond is a mystic center. So we've been running around. We spent last weekend in the cold. It was about 0 wind chill. Last Sunday we was in Meridian Hill Park. Brother was there with us. We was out there in the cold. Half the people went to the park, didn't come to the lecture on Tuesday. So I lost money for having the tour. The people got sick by Tuesday, it was so damn cold. Most of the people, I think about 4 people out of the 15 came to the lecture. So I lost out for even doing it, but we trying to get to what's in the middle of the damn diamond. We all out in the middle of the street and shit, down on the ground, the vegetable sticks, in the middle of 16th Street with the traffic coming. We get up on Crescent Street, which is right off of 16th Street, they got Crescent Street. We get up to the top of Crescent Street, here come police cars in every direction. Heard y'all was out in the park having a fight. We up there with compasses and shit on the ground, in the cold. I'm up there doing shit like this, right? And they all up, what are y'all doing? They ain't doing nothing. Let alone black police laughing at each other about who must have called us to come up there and mess with them. All they doing is looking for the peace. But we're actually unfolding into what we do. So they come out and do a story about the point. This is the point. That's the top of the diamond. They got it fenced in. It's right across the street from my house. You come to my house, I take you right over there to this point. This is marks the top of the diamond. It's one of those 9 feet stone every 1 mile around that diamond. 10 by 10. 10 by 10. And then that's why we went to those watches and looked up and found that even the damn watch ads say 1010. Just look up the ads in the watches in the paper and look and see if all the shit don't say 1010. Just the way the white man advertised a watch in the symbol or the sign of 10 by 10. What is 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10? 4. What is the sum of 4 plus 0? 4. So now, how many people did the whites say were at the Million Man March? 400,000. Well, they said 400,000, but they didn't mean it that there was 400,000. They really wanted a cold way of saying the number 4. Because the number 4 means something. And the number 4 means something in a way that they would want. Any word on the radio? So, nothing. Is it on?
And I have no defense for what.
Can't we turn the radio on? I mean, will it come through with the radio on? Why is the radio running through the phone?
It did before. It came on before. And you called before.
Yeah, let me hear the dial tone. Now, is that with the hook off? That's the hook off right there? Damn. Okay. All right. Now, so we would want to check what it was they were talking about and what those things meant. So we go back. Here's Tony Browder even talking about the diamond of D.C. and how Jefferson, on behalf of Washington, decided it would be a diamond shape. And the role of the square shape and the role of Elephant, who of course was led around by Banneker. The Washington Post, well no, this is in the Dictionary of Symbols by Biederman. And God knows how many of these books we done sold since we done went out and used Biederman's book on the Dictionary of Symbols by Hans Biederman, Dictionary of Symbols, Icons, and other cultural Dictionary of Symbols and other icons. When people start using these, the number 4. What does the number 4 mean? So we talk about the number 4, taking you back to that 4-letter name of God, the Hebrew tetragrammation. What did they say that the diamond was? They said that this here also meant the Hebrew tetragrammation, or the unspoken name of God. So this is what the Masons laid. So when they answer Farrakhan in the number 4, they go back to him raising up what the pyramid and the all-seeing-eye really means. And they answered him in front of everybody. Says the number 4 is associated with the cross and the square. The cross and the square. So when you look back at Tony Browder's description of the area, he lays it out in a cross and says it's based on the concept of the square. This is in Now Valley Civilization. The number 4, 4 points on the compass, 4 humors, 4 rivers, the 4 great prophets. 4 great prophets, 4 doctors of the church. The most important, however, are the 4 letters in the name of God. YHWH, or Yahweh, or Jehovah. Although the devout Jew, this is fake white, reveres the name too much to ever utter it. When the whites found out what the hidden name of God was, they told all the other people in their societies never to name it, because it wasn't their name. So the devout Jew, he's now talking about the fake white, never wanted the name to be uttered because it was not their name. And I get into blacks about repudiating, following behind that and doing what the white wants done. This story here started going back. It's right before Hamza and I did the lecture. They started raising questions about Satan and the Sphinx and the Golden Mendes and all of that. Even published a map. The Post published a map from the Final Call Publishing Company. Talking about on the pyramids on the mall and looking at the layout. This got north facing up. Even Brother Hamza was very effective in showing that the story that they wrote trying to say the devil in downtown Washington, where they tried to lay out, this is where the Million Man March stood across the mall, they tried to say there was something mysterious over here called the Golden Mendes. He put a little ear on it to make it look like the Golden Mendes. And that's the way they ran it. But to run it, they had to put north going sideways. Then, when you really want to find the Golden Mendes, you turn north up the way north go, and all of a sudden the Golden Mendes is really apparent. Yeah. But the Post tried to hide where it was by saying it was over here, connecting the Capitol and the Union Station and the White House and the Jefferson Memorial, rather than over there. That's the shape of the Golden Mendes. See, that shape is the same shape that Anton LaVey got on his neck. See that shape? You see that shape? Is it on? See that shape, the Golden Mendes there? On Anton LaVey. He's the man with the Satanic Bible. This is him here. I was doing some of this when I was up here last time. Anton LaVey. See that gold amenities behind his head? So we're talking about the Washington Post doing a story by making all the language face this way. With North going sideways, they tried to hide that. They did a story to try, since they wasn't bringing it up, when it started getting brought up by other people, they lift the story up and then, in a counterintelligence activity, disinform on it. See what I'm saying? They ain't gonna bring it up, but now we brought it up. Now it's up. They said, well, we can get in there and confuse that. So they come in and boop it by saying the gold of Mendes is over here, over there. Turn all the stuff facial this way. But only somebody with that other eye would turn it around and look through there and see they was lying. But what? Was it worth hiding this? Is this a symbol worth hiding? Well, damn. If Anton LaVey got the Satanic Bible, and he got this shit on the Satanic Bible, then damn, it must be the devil's job to hide it. Yeah, somehow they devil worship on it. Like this come out of what Brother Hamilton and I did in the lecture. He put this one together about why Shaitan means the devil. And you look at there's a bigger picture of the gold of Mendes. Remember that symbol? Look at that same symbol that the Post tried to hide. Same as the symbol for the Eastern Star. Then I remember when Brother Hamilton brought it over, we were standing in the hallway. So I was looking at this gold of Mendes, I turned it upside down. And we said, damn. I said, damn, Hamilton, look at that. What do you see, Ma? Who's that? Who's that, Ma? Who's that, Ma? Who's that? Say it out loud. Yoda. That's the character in the Star Wars movies, right? Who uses this character? Who's the producer of Star Wars? Spielberg. Now, did Spielberg know the news? Huh? And Lucas and Spielberg together. Yeah, both of them together. Lucas did the production of the technical stuff with Lucasfilms. He did the space and all of that. And Spielberg put it all together and shot it. Spielberg directed it. And they coming back again. They coming back with the old one done up because the new trilogy is coming out in '98. Part 1, 2, and 3, 98, 99, and in 2000 they end up with a World Federation. New World Order, Bobby. They got it all coming in Star Wars. And the pop-up started just last week with the premiere at Magic Johnson Theaters in LA. Hiding it under a black man. Spielberg, the most whitest director in Hollywood. Yeah. And so here is Yoda. Now, what was Yoda in the movie? What did Yoda do in the movie? Yeah, he trained the Jedi on how to deal with the dark side. That's right. All right? And eventually, what did the Jedi have to deal with? That his daddy was what? The black man. Yeah. Same thing the hunkies out here got to deal with. Now, did Spielberg just accidentally pick up a character? Now, the book, now let's show you that it was a gold of Mendes in it before Spielberg got to it. In that this is something we just put together. You say, well, y'all did that and y'all made it look like Yoda and shit like that. Well, okay. Here's the Satanic Bible. It was written in 1966. This book right here was written in 66. Now, you see that? That's his gold of Mendes. This is from 66. Let's turn it up this side down and see if you don't see Yoda again. Ain't Yoda there? He's still there. Ain't he there? So then the fact that the character of the upside down gold of Mendes existed long before Star Wars was even in existence. Therefore, Spielberg could have had prior knowledge that he was dealing in Satanism when he come with the triloquy, which ain't got no black people in it, except for Billy D. Williams and Darth Vader. Next one, the black one going, they gonna be Will Smith. He gonna be in the triloquy. Yeah, he's Independence Man. Now, one of Anton LaVey's followers was Charles Manson, who killed what woman? Who was married to who?
Roman Polanski.
Who raped what girl?
Natasha Kinski.
Right, who married what black man? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Probably just a coincidence. Now, listen up. The Boule History Book, Part 1. Boule History Book, Part 1 says that in summary, Benton is the Boule's logo, Grecian Sphinx, In summary, Minton wanted to create an organization that will partake in his own words of the tenets of Skull and Bones at Yale. So what do? We believe in what we say. I hook up a lecture in New Haven, Connecticut. I go to New Haven, Connecticut, which houses what university? Yale. So I say, look y'all, I gotta go to Skull and Bones. We gotta go knock on the door. I gotta go look and see what's out there. I get up there and I'm telling New Haven, Connecticut that, you know, we were studying this Boule. And at the Boule convention in Baltimore, we found out this in Baltimore. We saw the Boule logo. That's the Boule logo off the back of the membership roster. This is their membership roster. This is Boule logo. They call this a Grecian Sphinx. It's the body of a lion. Now what did the white man say they saw on Mars and the moon? Some shit with the body of a lion, but the face of a black man. It got the wings of a bird and all other bullshit, right? So they seeing this on Mars and the moon. But it means we're all on top of that shit and we finding the answers, but through another source. They need scientific means. Honkies need scientific instruments to know what you will know intuitively. You know these intuitively. We're on this with no money and no scientific instruments, but our intuition and our inference can come with the same answer. We are as strong as everything they have. They need those instruments. Say, well look, we busted to the bottom of the pyramid and found a black man looking at the stars. Well fine, Bobby Hemming was talking about that 50 years ago. So what are you saying? Y'all just getting up with it? And he says, hey, other white men may have withheld this from other white men. Well, that's a white problem. So now you can see what we went to. We went here to the Hyatt. We were out here at the Hyatt in Baltimore at the Boule convention. We look at a place card saying going upstairs, and it said Sigma, and it had 9 squares in there. Pi, and it had 9 squares in there, and then it had 5. Now, sister just took a picture of that, bro, and then we went on back, didn't pay no attention at all. When I'm looking back over all the Boule stuff we got at convention, I look at this little bitty snapshot, and I see these 9 squares. I said, now that's strange, 9 damn squares. So that's really strange. So I take them 9 squares, go back and look. I said, man, you know, we went to the Boule convention and found 9 squares. So people started sending me information explaining what the 9 squares were. Said the 9 squares are called the magic square. In the Middle Ages, it was referred to as the Kabbalah of the 9 chambers. I said, damn, ain't that something? Did these black guys at the Boule know what did? And then you look at the 9 squares again. And you look deeper at the 9 squares, and they start telling you that there's the 9 squares of Saturn. Okay. What is Saturn as a planet? What do it look like? A ring. It's a circle within a circle. Yeah. In fact, look back at the Boule logo. What's inside the urn? Circle within a circle, right? Check or no check? Yeah. Okay, because if it ain't there, don't say yeah. And so it says here, what are the 9 squares? Take you back to the unspoken name of God. The 9 squares will bring you back to the YHWH, or the tetragrammation, which is in the pyramid 72 squares. Check? Check. Where else did we find the tetragrammation? In the diamond. Was it in the diamond? Where else do we find the 9 squares at?
Brother, if you superimpose the 9 squares over the diamond, what do we get?
That's a whole nother story. Where do we say we found the other tetragrammation at? We found it on the diamond. Oh, in the number 4. The number 4. The number 4. The number 4 is tetragrammation, which is the diamond. That's the diamond, but it was on the 4 describing the diamond, the 4 sides to the diamond, the 4 seasons, the 4 prophets, the 4 points on the compass, it said 4 seasons, etc. Okay, so now we got all these people harboring this unspoken name of God, but this is all private shit, and you ain't in this. Minister talking, the white man talking back, and you ain't in it. You just in it. You at it. You at it. You ain't in it. All right. All the papers, none of them reflected on the mysticism of his dialogue. In fact, only the Baltimore Sun, one of your columnists, ridiculed it in the style section or the section that got the entertainment in it. He did a front page story on that little left-hand side, ridiculing the number 19 and all the mysticism. He called it Farrakhan gives mumbo jumbo. But you look all over the country, most of them didn't even touch it. Now, let's see, somebody got to call that station from me. Oh, anyway, I gotta wait with this. We'll get to it. Anyway, now, so then we go to, I'm in New Haven, Connecticut. I'm giving a lecture. I said, look, y'all, This says, I found this shit, the 9 squares on the Boule, and I gotta find out what the 9 squares mean. And people started making noise and shit, getting loud. I said, what's wrong with y'all? Said, Steve, you're in New Haven, Connecticut. New Haven, Connecticut is called the city of the 9 squares. I said, oh, come on, man, you bullshit. They said, no, man. So we went out there. Then we go out there. They had a residence at the 9th square. We go to the 9 square. Right in the middle of New Haven is the 9th square. This is the 9th square. So we get out there. It's residence at 9th square. Right next to that was Square 9 Real Estate Company. Right next to that was the headquarters of the Knights of Columbus. World headquarters of Knights of Columbus. And what did they show? They showed there the yellow brick in the 9th square. I got all this on video. And as we were running up to the Knights of Columbus headquarters, I said, what the hell is this? The white people see us in this glass door and start running out with the brochures. Do we think y'all looking for this? So we looked at each other and said, damn, they know we be something or something? I mean, do we look hungry or some shit? Do we look like we looking for something? And then all the whites, everywhere we went, the whites handed us things that were just what we want. When I went to Square 9 Real Estate, I went in, I said, you got a map or something? They said, I got just, I think, what you need. You need to see what's in the 9th square. You want this. This shit is, all the people with me in New Haven, about 56 of us. It's cold, it's snowing. I mean, everybody's feet are frozen. We in the snow. You look at the film, we knocking on skull and bone snows everywhere. It was December 21st of last year. But everybody's got all these charged, man. Everybody's lit up, man. We are finding this shit, right? I'm showing them things in their town. They don't know what they're looking at. They know where it's at, and I need to look at it. And then I look at it and say it to them. I say, oh yeah, well that's that. And they say, you know, boom, we come to some massive conclusion about the links or the signals that are in the lands where we're standing. So then check this out here. What was the height of Washington Monument? So the Knights of Columbus say, now this is odd now. The Knights of Columbus make this point, that they have 1.5 million members. Now you tell me if this is accidental. Knights of Columbus say they got 1.5 million members. They got approximately 10,500 councils. Add those up, what is that, 10 and 5? 15. Right, what do you got here? 15. Okay, then they say, now stop them 215s, then they say it rises 23 stories, got 320 feet above downtown, and got 500 people working in it. Now, do you think they just accidentally putting a brochure together about the headquarters of the Knights of Columbus and the shit's 5, 15 all over? And what is 15 plus 15 plus 15? 45. And then, if you go back over to what the 9 squares mean, when you look back at the 9 squares, back at the meaning, it makes a point to tell you that when you put the numbers in the 9 squares, where's it at? When you put the numbers in the 9 squares, it adds up to 15 everywhere you go. 3 plus 5 plus 7, 15. 4 plus 5 plus 6 is 15. 4 plus 9 plus 2 is 15. 2 plus 5 plus 8 is 15. Check? Check. The 9 squares go 15 every which way you go. In fact, they got 2 ways to lay in the squares. One is supposed to mean evil, and the other is supposed to mean good. So you end up with these 2 different combinations. One goes 492, 357, 816. The other goes 816, 357, 452, 492. They're all going to take you back to, it's actually just written opposite. They're all going to take you to 15 anywhere you go. Now, you think, you say, no, you sitting there going, oh man, I'm tripping. I mean, it's just too much shit coincides. Then the lady says, well look, so now you know we always talk about Cecil Rhodes. In the Wizard of Oz, you're following the yellow brick road. Look, they got this shit. Bingo. So now we go over to the center of the 9th square. I go over to the center of the 9th square, and the lady gives me this brochure. She said, young man, you need this. And I look at everybody, they all look at me and say, damn, what's she talking about? Then this is what she gives me. She said, you take this. This is the center of the 9th square in New Haven, Connecticut. Look at that shit. You see it? What do we find in the 9th square? One, we find the diamond. Then we find the golden Mendes on top of the diamond. So the Boule want to be like Skull and Bones and Yale. Now that's okay, it's fine. So we go to Skull and Bones and Yale and find out it's the city of the 9 squares. We go back, the Boule got 9 squares. We go back to the 9th square, and all this shit comes together. And they don't like Cokley. Never said he was dishonest, never said he was lying, but they don't like, they're not comfortable with Cokley. But Cokley goes, now with nothing, we have done these with nothing, we goes to the spots. We're on the beast's ass. Closer to his ass than anyone will ever tell you. No one will ever tell you where we are in reality. To flush out the mere confession out of a man is an easy thing to do when you're talking about changing the planet. And turning that shit 30 to the left and 20 to the right and 5 to the left, knowing you unlocking the shit, everybody seeing the combination lock getting weaker every time you turn the keys. And they say, nah, we ain't with this shit. Ban his ass, keep him off, no, no, no. Don't promote and support that. And now, why do we have this? You know why we have this? We're not a national organization, but we're in every city. We don't meet all at one time, but we get things done. Oh, they asked Jesse Jackson Howard once, say, well, Jesse, what do you think of Steve Cokley? He said, oh, Cokley's nothing. He ain't got no organization. I ain't got one you can bust up. But I do what organization is supposed to do. Accomplish tasks. Do things. How do you do things? Hey, it's guerrilla warfare. We're in the age of guerrilla warfare. You won't see the army until it's too late to stop it. And at that point, see, that's why we say we never really want to get in a fight with anybody, because we never want to show what we have to work with. Yeah. What makes someone apprehensive about what you say about them is not that you're uncredible. It's that you can influence people, the good people. See, we ain't looking but for the good people. All them other ones, them half-lights, they can keep. We'll get them later, because half-lights tend to switch sides when the momentum changes. Okay. I know how Big Mo worked too. And you let them come in, but you keep them involved in a way that they can't hurt the core operation. Check. Until they can work their way better into better things. Check. Now, I don't know what all this means, but I know we're on to something. Now, let me keep going. I don't want to be sentimental and shit. Now, looking at the Kabbalah, in this book here, the Kabbalah Primer, in the Kabbalah, because that got something to do with it and stuff, and it talks about that the only way you can make the Pentagon, which is the world military headquarters, the Pentagon, is to make this in the center. These angles depend upon A, B, C, D, and E being established. So what is in the center? It's a Pentagon. What should we find in the center of the Pentagon? Thank you. Now, are the honkies on alert that people are looking for the beast over the Pentagon? Sure. A couple of brothers are running around the parking lot. They shoot their motherfucking ass down. The brothers just walk around the parking lot trying to steal a little car. They shoot their ass down. Did they? Oh, yeah. Did it last week, didn't they? Yeah. Just shot their ass all up in the truck, didn't they? Said y'all thought y'all was going to get the beast. Mistook them for beast hunters. Said, oh, if they thought it was just mere car theft, they would let it go head on. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I'm going to be sphinxing you. Now, they say the planets are lining up into what? To make a what? Six-pointed star, which should be known as a hexagram, right? Huh? The six-pointed star, constructed from alchemist symbols for the elements. Fire, water, air, and earth. Those are the four. That's four. That's the four. Nature. White man, hey, back to the unspoken name of God again. So now they're talking about the planets that lined up in the unspoken name of God. They ain't saying it, but that's what it makes. The six-pointed star composed of two overlapping triangles. A symbol found in a wide array of cultures around the world is traditionally interpreted as a combination of watery, fiery, male pointing upward triangle, female pointing downward, closed harmonically ordered duality. The biblical Solomon, son of David and Bathsheba, was said to have exorcised demons and summoned angels with it until his death. Although most traditions view his use of the tetragrammation There it is again. As having been the decisive factor. Because of its association with Solomon, the six-pointed star came to be known as Seligum Solomus, Solomon's seal, or Sectum Divitus. Hey, Brother David, give me some help on this. Oh, you back there asleep. Nah, I'm just kidding about it. What this stuff here means? You got to come see it, Bob. I ain't too good at saying it. You might not hear it.